What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. Last week I made a video about how to get more eBay sales. Some things maybe your store is lacking is why you're not getting sales. I mentioned in the video if people wanted me to review their stores, the first 10 people that sent me a link to their store, I would do that. Thank you so much for everyone who sent me a link. I got dozens upon dozens of them. This is going to be the first 10 people. If I do another video like this, I've saved everyone who sent me a store request review. I'm saving them all, hopefully to get through them all. If people like this kind of video, I've never done a video like this before, so I don't know if it's something people want to see, but I thought it would be fun to go through. Look at people's stores, kind of give some advice, maybe see a bolo or two I don't realize is worth money. I also want to say before I start this, I've been selling on eBay since the 90s. I've sold over 10,000 items. That doesn't make me the master eBay guy, so this is just my opinion. A lot of people's stores are going to be better than mine. If you look at mine, there's still plenty of flaws. Always things to be improved. Feel free to give your own advice in the comments. Just be kind to people. Constructive criticism, there's no need to make fun of anyone's store or anything like that. If you want to make fun of an eBay store, you probably just go to mine and find stuff to do that. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to spend on each store because I don't want this video to be super long, but I have a feeling it's going to be quite long. This might be one of those videos where it's just good when you sit down for the night, get on the couch, and just have something to watch. And if you do like this type of video, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, do all that, and maybe we'll keep it going. So the first store we're going to look at is Grateful Girl Collectibles. I'm guessing a Grateful Dead fan, right? Just based on what I'm seeing so far. I have not went through any of these stores. I'm just going to do it blind. I think that's going to be the most entertaining for people to watch. Looks like they've sold 459 items and they have 590 items listed. See these Grateful Dead bears right off. Yu-Gi-Oh! McDonald's card deck box holder. Some of this McDonald's stuff usually is not worth listing in my opinion. Some of it is. I'm not familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't even realize they had Yu-Gi-Oh! McDonald toys. Lots of Grateful Dead bears. I've never actually found one of these. Every time I see one that looks like it, I check out the tag and stuff and it's not actual Grateful Dead bear. I know some of these are pretty good money. Some of them are collectible. I don't know if they're priced right because I'm just not familiar enough with them. I see everything's put in separate categories. Looks great. I don't do that myself on my store. Just because I sell so many different items. I don't feel like a lot of people's coming to my store to kind of, look for certain things. If I was just selling shoes or something, sure, I would do that. But the presentation is definitely nice and it can only improve sales, right? Jurassic Park hand puppet, $38.87. I think I passed on one of these at a garage sale recently or Goodwill or something. Seems like I remember looking them up. As a Wizard of Oz game, not seeing a whole lot of stuff I'm super familiar with. I see the Trivial Pursuit DVD pulp culture game. Stuff like that is very hard to move. I think there's just too many on eBay and it's not that special of a game. But I think what I'll do is we'll go up here and we'll look at the highest priced items. How do I check? Here it is. Highest priced items. What do we got here? Some Howdy Doody paper cardboard marionette, $278, could be worth some money. Again, not too familiar with that. Some paintings and stuff. You sell a lot of stuff that I'm not too familiar with. Here's one of these porcelain opium pillows. I got one of these. It was a newer one. I still think it's considered vintage, and I don't know. There's just a lot of them on there, unless they're the really old special ones. I don't know. That price might be a little high. Barbie Hallmark ornaments. I sold a lot of Hallmark ornaments. What were they? They were all themed. They're all the same. Oh, Lionel trains. And I think I ended up selling them for like $89 and it was more than the Barbie. I don't know if there's anything special in there. Again, like I'm not doing research on that stuff, but it seems a little high. Some of the Schleich Smurfs also seems a little high. Again, if you're researching this stuff and you don't feel that way, by no means, lower the price on this stuff just because, I'm thinking it's too high. I've sold these Peanuts figures before too, but I feel like I've sold them for like $30, $40. I just can't remember the Grateful Dead stuff. Cool items nonetheless. And let's look at, before we leave this store, how about we look at one of the listings itself, like this opium pillow. Free shipping, free returns, which is good, should get sales. Doesn't open up to a bigger page. View all details. There we go. Free shipping on this, free return. This one, seller pays for return shipping. Pictures look good. They're clear. Lots of detail, lots of pictures. I mean, you're on the right track. I think this store is great. I think some of the items maybe priced a little high. Some of it I'm just not familiar with. Let's check the low. So we got a Pokemon card, some sort of mystery, $8. Another McDonald's toy. Again, some of the McDonald's toys, in my opinion, just they're not worth listing. The time it takes to list, and there's so many other people selling them. If you do have a lot of McDonald's toys you want to sell, maybe just put them all together, even if they're not themed, and just kind of sell them for one price to entice someone to buy it. A bunch of them, and even then I feel like they're going to take a while to sell. Harry Potter DVD, you know, again, a lot of this stuff's just going to take a long time to move. Someone may come along and buy it. I don't know if that's new or not. But yeah, I think the pictures look good. I think everything is fine. If you're not getting a lot of sales, I think it's just maybe the quality of items. Some of these lower dollar ones just going to take a long time to sell. There's just too much of this kind of stuff on eBay already. But yes, thank you so much for sharing your store. Here's a store called Witchcityfinds. Where is Witch City? What would that be considered? Got some vintage t-shirts here. Misfits. I know someone that would like that shirt. Vintage 90s Dick Tracy. It's strange how Dick Tracy stuff is not very sought after, right? If they ever remake Dick Tracy, maybe the vintage stuff will go up in value, become more desirable. But I found toys and stuff and they just really don't sell well on eBay. Some of the vintage anime stuff like Soul Eater. I think I have a white t-shirt with that same logo somewhere, probably in a death pile. Art Deco Tupperware pins, old style. Not exactly sure what those are, but I'm noticing the pictures look good. I didn't look at how many. 794 items with 794 items sold. Let's check out the highest priced items. Got these Nike High Street Fighter Series Akuma shoes. Pretty cool. I don't know what they're worth, if they're worth $1,600, but really cool find there. I'm not sure where you got those. And a lot of people that's watching, I'm sure you know more about this stuff. You can leave in the comments if you think the prices are too high on some of this stuff that I don't recognize. All this stuff looks like I would have to research to know right off. Here's some Air Jordans, 120. Here's one of the Logitech Harmony remotes. Is this one new? It is used. Some of those are worth pretty good money. Gucci Bird. Paperweight could be pretty good. What else we got here? A decent amount of mid-priced items, which always helps. Said it in the last video. Any item that's junk is going to take a lot longer to sell. So the best way to get sales is just have better items, which is why I like to look at the lower priced items, just to see, you know, what people are listing and spending time on. We got some sports cards here. This is something I'm not too familiar with, and cards, I don't want to sell just a card for $1.07. And this is me. There's a lot of people that sell cards like this and do quite well. Me personally, I would put all these like lower dollar common cards just in one lot and sell them for a few bucks or whatever. Same with some of these DS games that are like $8.67 here. Free shipping on that. That's good because $8.67 is already a lot asking someone to buy these games, because a lot of them just people aren't wanting to buy them and they're just all over eBay. So when I get games like this that are very popular, I just like to lot them all together, like all the DS games, all the Xbox 360 games. You usually get someone to buy them. It saves on shipping. But a lot of these low dollar, just kind of everyday games just aren't going to sell very quickly, right? Clowns, yeah, just like a lot of stores I see, some of these low dollar items, when your store starts to fill up with these, you're just not going to get that many sales. You're just spending way too much time listing the lower dollar items. And there's nothing wrong with listing a low dollar item if it's very popular and it's going to sell, you know, fairly quickly. But a lot of this stuff that I'm seeing definitely priced fair. It's just there's so much of this kind of stuff on eBay, and people usually don't get online to buy certain things like this that I'm seeing. Doesn't mean you're not going to sell a few if you want to just do the bulk numbers game. Lots of remotes, and even I sell remotes like this because it's just good to have this kind of stuff. People are looking for it. Sometimes it takes time, but I'm not spending a lot of money on this stuff, right? And sometimes I just get stuff for free or next to nothing, and I just put it on eBay low because I think it will sell. You got to remember, when you have a store and you start having a store for a long period of time, your good items always sell quick. Your bad items just kind of keep filling up and they never sell, and you just start getting more and more. So eventually you have 800 items of just kind of low quality items because all your good items are selling very quickly. So you see that a lot on eBay stores, mine included. But I think it's a good store. I don't see anything truly wrong with it. Again, looks like your shipping is fine. Good feedback. Salem, Massachusetts, of course, that's Witch City, right? Looks like you're using the eBay white background AI thing is clipping the images a little, but that's, you know, that's fine too. But yes, thanks so much for sharing your store. I think you're definitely on the right track. I know that it's hard to do this, but I just suggest trying to source higher profit items. A lot of people are just not going to find, you know, high profit items that often, or at least try to focus on things that are a bit unique that might sell and you're not competing against other people. Next, we got a pretty interesting store name, Nyjetspleasewin store. Looks like they've sold 2.6K items and they have 508 currently listed. Going to be sports centered, I'm guessing. Here's a Game Boy game. Not familiar with this one, $25. Noticing the pictures are looking fine. You're taking clothing pictures like I take clothing pictures just on a nice floor like this. I think it's better than hanging them up. You see them better, at least with how I hang up clothes. Here's a New York Jets splash hat. I have a Ohio State hat right now, I think priced like $100 or somewhere around there. You know, it's priced high for sure, but there's nothing wrong with that. I have a hat right now. I have priced $400. It's got a ton of interest. Some of these hats, it's just good to see if you can get people to buy them, right? But you can't expect sales, you know, when you're pricing stuff high. It really takes the right buyer. Looks like a basic Build-A-Bear. You got sports specialities wool hat, which is good. Not a great team. I don't know if that will ever sell for $89.99 though, but it definitely will sell for something. Hello Kitty, some t-shirts. I don't see any t-shirts that are like really standing out to me, but if you have a really good one, it's probably sold, right? So NASCAR hats, Yosemite Sam, pretty cool Looney Tunes hat there, $39.95. Seems like to me that's a good price. Looks like a lot of clothing. Again, anyone who's selling clothing or shoes is a lot of these pieces just take a long time to sell if they're just basic stuff. Just takes the right buyer. You know, they have to want that size, that style, and want to buy something used. Let's see what we got priced the highest. We got, wow, $6,000 pair of Adidas. Again, I'm not familiar with those. Don't know if they're worth it. Some sports cards that are graded. Again, the market I'm not into. I don't know if these are priced too high. I know a lot of graded stuff can be pretty difficult to move, at least in like the Magic the Gathering card stuff. Selling a mid-modern century table and chairs, pretty cool. I'm assuming that's local pickup, right? Local pickup only. Pictures are clear, no complaints there. Haven't really been looking at the descriptions much on these stores, but got some measurements in there. That's always good. I mentioned in the last video, if you don't have measurements, people usually won't send you a message to ask for them because it's just a hassle and people don't want to deal with hassles. They just move on to the next thing. If they really, really want it and it's a good item, of course they will, but cool piece. That's one thing I don't sell really. I have some larger things like that I need to sell. I just haven't dealt with it. Steve Jobs photo. Here's an Expedition 100 backpack, $248. I've heard of those actually. I think they're pretty valuable bags. Original Brett the Hitman heart foam finger. That's really cool. I don't know if it's worth $120. Chicago Bulls pro player jackets. You got some good stuff in here. The prices might be a little high, but this is the kind of stuff you can price high at first, and as soon as you lower these to a fair price, they're just going to sell almost immediately. Cool hats, good pictures. Let's check what you got priced at the low end. Same situation with the sports cards. I just don't feel like it's worth the time to put those on there. I'd rather just lot them all together. It's what I do with Magic cards when I sell them. If I got a bunch of common cards or just dollar cards, I just throw like 30. Charge like $20 instead of listening for $1 a piece. But sometimes people just want that one card to complete a set or whatever, so they can sell. Again, I just don't think it's worth the time after fees and shipping and the risk that it could get lost or damaged, right? Haven't seen this Francis Bulldog in a long time. I had that when I was a kid. Kind of a throwback there. Again, I think this is a McDonald's toy, right? Yeah, like a finger puppet or something. Just too many. And I also see some damage on that. Like I'd be shocked if that ever sold. Again, if you want to sell McDonald's toys, it's good to lot them up or at least get the full set. And then somebody might just buy the full set. They rarely buy just one, I find, unless it's something special, right? And maybe that is rare, I don't know, but it probably wouldn't be down here priced $6 if it was, or $4, whatever it was priced. More McDonald's toys, remotes. Used to be pretty much any decent remote you could get $15, $20 for. Again, remotes have become very saturated. And in universal remotes, I just don't even try to sell. They have to go to something special. Media, of course, if you're selling media, it's going to be low dollar, but it's pretty cheap to ship. But I still, you know, the common stuff like Harry Potter, the Blade movies, stuff like that, unless they're new, I usually don't mess with them. And you can just expect it to take a while to sell, right? If you're one of those sellers that are getting this stuff for pennies and you're relying on selling it on bulk, that's a different story because you will get sales. It's going to take a long time. But yeah, again, this store I think looks fine. Got some pretty good quality items listed that I think you'll definitely sell at a price at some point and make some money. Pictures are great. Descriptions were good. This was a very new store. 72 items sold and 204 items listed. So let's check that out. I love to see new sellers and kind of how they're doing things. Vintage skateboard cap. We got a PlayStation controller. PlayStation controller is $20 plus shipping. I feel like I usually sell these for like $24.99 free shipping. They ship under a pound, so that may be something, you know, to sell something like this. Also got a rug. I mentioned before that the white backgrounds apparently improve search engine optimization, and some people may think it's tacky and not buy from you. I also see you're offering 60-day returns. Buyer pays for return shipping, which is better return window than I offer, which is good. I think 30 is fine though. I don't think you need to do 60. Looks like we got a phone. Here's like this General Electric phone. Hard to move regardless. It says untested. See some scratches on it. Probably not worth even listing, right? Because even fully tested, working, good cosmetic condition. Also doesn't look like it has the power supply. It's just never going to sell. It's not something desirable enough that people's going to buy it, you know, get a power supply and deal with it, or even use it. Some of the Bluetooth phones, like cordless phones, are still selling good. So you realistically can't expect that to sell, I think. Here's one of the CRT TVs. I'm just wondering if you're shipping this. You are. General Electric. Oh, it's got the box too. The styrofoam. Yeah, I think that should sell at some point for sure. I mean, I sold one new open box. I sold it for like $350. It was a bit different than this one, but still, this kind of stuff will move. It's not a great brand. Skylanders. Boy, I've had some Skylander stuff listed for years that don't move. I have sold some in the past though. I won't buy them anymore unless I'm getting a ton of them for dirt cheap. We've got some Avon stuff that can be hard to move. Vintage Cowboys hat, $12.99. Might sell for that. Again, with hats, I'd like to price at $17.99 or something, free shipping. I use the price like this with hats, and it just seems like I get better sales doing free shipping on hats. Looks like you got some disc-only games. If they're shovelware type games or games that just are selling for under $10, again, I lot all that stuff up. Got a combo unit here. Not sure if this one is tested. No AV cables included. This is a problem. In the description, you just have to test it and tell people if it works or not. Shipping is too high. $54.77. Should be able to ship this for like $15 to $17 using Ground Advantage. Some more disc-only games. A lot of the games I would recommend doing free shipping on because, oh, this is case only. Kind of just factor that into the price since it's under a pound. It's weird. There's no option to sort by highest or lowest on this store for whatever reason. Just not there. It looks like this one you got random games lot for the title. There's no keywords in here like Wii, Xbox, PlayStation 2, random games lot. Put how many games are there in there. Put the word bulk in there. Looks like a lot of them are sports games and stuff that's not very good, but nothing really wrong with the photos. They seem to be pretty clear. Just a lot of this stuff I think is just kind of items that are hard to move and take longer to sell. But it looks like you have 100% feedback, so you're doing a good job there with 28 feedback. So on the right track. I'd clean up some of the titles and give a bit more in the description. Test things, or at least say they're untested. I saw that the phone was untested, but the combo unit I looked at, shipping was also too high on the combo unit. But yeah, looking great. Thanks so much for sharing. Here's a store called The Gray Gorilla. 126 items sold. It's a pretty new store, it looks like. 155 items listed. We got some shoes, some Doc Martens, some Nike here. Let's take a look at the shoes. Kind of these pictures here. Got a nice zoom in on the toes. I like that. That shows that you're not trying to hide anything. Saves you from bad feedback. Returns. I mean, it's just a nitpick, but the photos are being taken on a rug, which might make a few buyers, feel like they don't want to buy from you because it doesn't feel as professional. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, the pictures look great. By no means do you have to change that, but I know I've heard that you should use pure white backgrounds for eBay pictures because Google will show those through their search engine more. So if somebody's searching on Google for something, you're more likely to get your picture to pop up, right? See what else we got here. We have 138 mixed system video game lot, $2.99. It's hard to say without going through every game. Maybe a little high. I kind of like how the shoe pictures are being took like that on the floor. Pretty easy to see. I have a shoe riser, so that's how I take my shoe photos. Looks like you got some decent shoes. Looks like the prices are pretty good on your shoes. Shoes, just like clothing, they're going to take a while for someone to come along unless they're very collectible or sought after. We really have to be in the long game for that, right? Like waiting for the sales. Let's see some of the high dollar items. Looks like the most expensive item is this antique silver plate sugar bowl. Leonardo da Vinci book set. Again, some of the people watching maybe can add some comments if they think these prices on some of this stuff's high, because I'm not familiar with every item. Here's a fish finder. Fish finders are great to sell. Usually when I find them, they sell very quickly. I just sold one last week. You have some really good shoes. You must be in a good shoe selling area, right? Some Coach bags. Pretty solid items. Tyco video camera. I feel like maybe the prices are just slightly high is maybe why you're not getting sales on some of this stuff. I mean, just lowering it 10 or 15% on some of these items, I think they should get a sale, or eventually they're going to sell because they're good items. Some of the low dollar items, Corky rubber wax toilet seat. A lot of people don't buy this kind of stuff on eBay. They just go over to Home Depot, right, if they need it. Again, unless it's something discontinued that they're looking for. I'm noticing that a lot of your low dollar items are still priced pretty high, which is a good thing, meaning that you can get more profit for them, right? And they're worth selling more than, you know, a McDonald's figure that's like selling for $4. My general rule with eBay is I want to make at least $10 profit on anything I sell. Some things like hats that I sell, or items that are easy to store, easy to ship, that don't take any time to list really. You know, I'm willing to go down to maybe like $8 profit. Or if I buy something where I'm buying like 100 of one item and I'm making $5, I only have to make one listing, right? To make $5 on 100 items, it's $500 for like 6 minutes of listing. So that's kind of how I think about it with the lower dollar items. And sometimes you just get a bad buy, or you get something you just want to put on eBay and get your money back. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's looking like, from what I can tell, no one has been doing auctions either, which auctions is a good way to get rid of things if you just want to get sales, right? If you're not looking to make the most optimal profit, auctions will always get you more sales. You're just not going to make as much money as waiting it out and being patient. But yeah, you got a lot of solid items, great pictures. Again, I think the items are maybe just priced a little high. Like, I've sold these same boots before multiple times, and I think I usually get $40 for them, but you can see I usually do $40 plus shipping. You have free shipping, so I think $49.99 is completely fair. They have a little bit of wear, maybe that's why they're not selling. If they got wear like that, you have to sell them for a bit less. But yeah, great store. Thank you so much for sharing. Next store is Deals for Days AZ. 4.9 thousand items sold with 507 items currently listed. This is a store that's probably been around for a while. That many sales, right? Got some video game stuff here, 179 with the box and paperwork. That seems fair. The Nintendo seems fair. Again, a lot of this stuff is very saturated, even though it's desirable and people are buying it all the time. You can either wait it out, or you can price it lower and just sell it faster if you're just looking to get more sales. We got shirts. They look pretty basic what I'm seeing. Blue Alien. Looks like they're doing shipping. Usually on t-shirts, I do free shipping. Anything a pound or less. $7.99 shipping. I don't know if you're doing calculated shipping on this stuff. That could help you get more sales on the clothing. Video games, free shipping on the video games, so that's good. Heavier clothing, you know, I do calculated shipping though, so really just however you want to do it. Like I mentioned in my other video, you just always have to remember that if you're doing free shipping, you can calculate the shipping in. If you're not going to do free shipping, you can't price something that normally people are buying for $150 and charge shipping on top of it, because people are never going to buy it from you. Pictures, again, seem clear. It's very important to do that. Taking multiple pictures, showing measurements, which is great for clothing. Descriptions, good enough. I used to spend way too much time on the description, way too much time in these item specifics, right? Just get the basic stuff down. Don't worry about filling out everything. It's not going to matter that much based on how much time you're spending. I don't know how you're shipping the t-shirts, but, you know, just put them in a poly bag and do free shipping is what I would do on some of these. I think that will increase sales for sure. Highest priced items, we got the Elvis Presley vintage scrapbook, $2,500. I don't even know what I have as my highest listed item. I think I don't know if I still have that $800 G.I. Joe. I think I lowered the price. Anyway, we got some vintage Harley Davidson jackets, leather. Here's a nice vintage Carhartt Detroit jacket. Again, you know, some of the prices I think are a little bit high, but they're quality items. There's nothing wrong with listing these higher. just remember that just because you price them higher doesn't mean someone's going to buy them. But I see a lot of this stuff is desirable, and somebody will definitely pay money for it, and it will sell at the right price. And for the low dollar items, just kind of the basic stuff you see, like the Sega Genesis game here for $764, free shipping. Again, this is something I would just lot up with other games or something if possible. Try not to have too many low dollar items like this. That's taking time to list. That's the biggest issue, right? The time it takes to list this stuff, to store it, to handle it, can really cut into profit because, you know, time is definitely money. Some Atari games, again, lot them up, price them like $10 or something, move them. That's what I would do. But deals for days, AZ. Thanks so much for sharing. Next, we are looking into Thrifty Don. Looks like a newer store, 146 items sold with 320 items listed. Looks like mostly a clothing seller. That's a pretty cool sweatshirt there. It's been a while since I found something so colorful, close to a Kuji or something. It's one thing I'm not too familiar with is women's clothing, purses, stuff like that. So you may have to rely on some comments for people letting you know if the items are priced too high. I'm also curious if you sell this kind of stuff on Poshmark as well. Cross list. I remember somebody left me a message on one of these stores that they also sell on Poshmark. Highest dollar items. You got some sort of hoodie. We got brands that I don't even recognize, right? That are these high end. Adidas, Yeezy, familiar with those. $219.99. Probably a fair price from what I know about them. I've never found a pair. $100 Reebok Classics. These Adidas shoes here for $79.99. I'm not sure. I feel like I've sold a pair for much less than that. I know some Coach stuff is big money. A lot of it's going down in value, so I don't really know, to be honest. But the pictures, they look great. Something like this, I would be charging shipping, doing the free returns. Very nice pictures. You got like the wooden, I don't know what you call it, mannequin, even though it's not really a mannequin. Looks like you're doing 10% of this sale will benefit the Salvation Army, which I've saw the donation things. I wonder if that increases sales, right? Giving 10% to a charity means you're doing something, you know, good, and you're getting sales and making money. If anyone has any experience, let me know. That's something I've not messed with. I would love to know some like hard data of how that increases sales, donating to charity portion of the sale. Looks like some good description here. Plenty of text. Looks like you are even cleaning the clothing. I usually put in the description, I don't clean the clothing. That it could have any kind of smell with it. You know, it's just easier for me because, for one, I can't even smell really anymore. So if something has a bad smell, looks like you have best offers on. We haven't been talking about that. Great way to get sales if you don't mind being harassed and lowballed constantly. Of course, you can set it to auto decline lower offers. Yeah, just a really nice looking store for sure. Before we go, we'll check the lower, where are we at here? Lowest priced items. Looks like I got some $1.49 things. Just like I've been saying, it's just not worth listing in my opinion. Another thing people can do if you're interested, people do things where they call them drawer sales, where they just sell like just a bunch of random stuff or even random junk, throw it all in a box and just sell the whole box. I've not tried this, but I've heard that, you know, a lot of people, they kind of make it like a mystery box. They just like, here's a bunch of junk in a box and start an auction and people bid on it just out of curiosity. I think people do YouTube videos on it. So that could be a creative way to move some of this smaller stuff. But I think the store is good, right? I think you just have to focus more on the prices. And I don't know what a lot of the prices are like on this store because I'm not familiar with the items, but it seems like you got some quality items on here. Probably doing 10 of these store reviews in a row was not a good idea. I'm starting to lose my voice. This is the most I've talked probably in 20 years. Next store is It's Vintage Time. I like the play on words. 1.6K items sold and 896 items listed. Looks like we got some clothing. Looks like more women's clothing. Pictures seem pretty good. Like some of these look maybe a little dark, but you can still see the item find. So I don't think they're really going to stop you from getting sales. There's some of these Croc hikers, festive clogs. I actually sold some Crocs kind of like this for like $80 or $90. Never underestimate Crocs. After I sold a pair for $450. I'll never underestimate them again. Seems like a lot of the clothing here, from what I can tell, maybe is more basic and possibly just priced a little too high. And some of these brands, like women's brands, I just don't know. There's so much clothing on eBay, it's always kind of hard to sell anyway. And if the price just a little too high, it can stop sales. Highest priced items, we got clothing piece here. First edition Wheeler Word Magic book, kind of interesting. Some Nikes, pretty cool Garfield plaque. Hopefully that sells for $159. Seems like it's probably a bit too high. Yeah, just the feel I get, some of this stuff based on what I've sold, maybe just priced a little too high. I'm not sure. Are you doing free shipping? You are not. So maybe lower the prices if you're looking to get more sales. Lowest items listed, we got the DS games. You can see she has them $2 plus the shipping, free returns. You know, this picture's a little blurry and dark, but to be honest, my pictures are very similar to this, a lot of them, and I still get some sales, right? What I would do is take all these DS games and just put them together and sell them for like $15 or maybe $20 free shipping, right? Because you're not going to make much profit on just one. It's going to take probably years, you know, even for someone to come along at this price and still want to buy these. Because you can ship all these DS games loose like this in the same package for the same price it would cost to ship one. And we got a lot of just other common items I don't think a lot of people are going to be buying. I got like the mossy oak baseball cap. It's just too common. And just like I've been saying about with the other stores, just try to focus on, you know, higher quality, higher dollar items on eBay. Spend your time doing that instead of listing like the $4 or $5 items. But thank you so much for sharing the store. Really do appreciate it. Here we have Modzie, 4.5 thousand items sold with 160 items listed. Seems like a pretty good turnaround rate on sales, right? First thing I notice is not something that's really a big deal, but I noticed that the pictures, you know, not the right resolution size for the banner here. I mean, it's fine, but I don't even think I have a banner, so I'm one to talk, right? But it's just something that I noticed right away. I don't think it's going to stop you from getting sales, though. Looks like we got a t-shirt. We got some of these Hallmark keepsake ornaments. Some of them are great. Many of them will never sell. This Hello Kitty pillow journal is kind of interesting. Some of the Hello Kitty stuff, obviously great money. Not everything, though. This is Philadelphia Phillies jacket. I have one or sold one. Like, I think I finally sold it for like $150. It did take like a year and a half for it to sell, maybe 2 years. So if you're looking to get that price, you might get it at some point, but you just have to be patient. Nike slip-on shoes. I don't know, that seems a little high. Pretty cool lamp there, $101. And me, I don't know if this is on sale or something, but this is a trick that retailers have been using for a while, right? $101.98, you might as well just price it $99.98. Because the way people's minds work, you know, they're just more likely, if they're not looking to spend that much money, you know, in their head it's like under $100, even though it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, what you've heard marketing people do for forever, right? Pricing stuff like that. Like this $52.98 could be $49.98. Again, if it's a really good item, people are still going to pay for it, right? Here's a baseball bat. Looks like the shipping is pretty fair on that. Baseball bats are kind of tricky to ship. Pictures look pretty good. Looks like maybe the AI thing is like removing some of it or something. Really with pictures, what you want is just a lot of them showing every angle. And just to be clear, and some vintage Barbies from the 70s. Let's check the highest priced quality items. Mid-century modern table lamps. Mark Newton Goodnight Love Lamp. Don't know anything about that, but $200, that's pretty good. Maybe that's a name I need to research. Lionel trains can be worth money. I'm not sure if those are. Looking pretty good. Nothing's really standing out to me as being that bad. There's a Soda Stream. Is this one new? Used? It's so hard to sell Soda Stream stuff just because there's so much on eBay, right? So I feel like that's probably overpriced. It's always interesting to look at these stores and just see the different kind of stuff that people sell. Right, it's always kind of a theme where you see things that people like to sell based on what they're selling or what you're selling, I should say. Lowest dollar items, Hallmark keepsake ornaments. We've been seeing a lot of these in people's stores today, haven't we? Again, me personally, I would lot both of those together. Here's one down here. Here's another one. Discount each one, lot them together, try to sell them that way. Because I think it just takes way too long to sell that many individually, even at low prices. But overall, overall, I think it's a fine store. And again, just like every other store, I think it's worth just adjusting prices and quality. Voice still hanging on. I just noticed also I have 11 stores up here, so I guess I'm reviewing 11 stores. If you're still watching, thank you so much, and hit that like button for me. I really do appreciate it. This is really enjoyable for me too, looking through all this stuff and seeing people's stores. But here's the red stuff, kind of a really good banner here. Looks like they took some effort into that. Presentation definitely matters. We have 963 items listed with 627 items sold. Just seeing that makes me feel like there's going to be a lot of, just lower dollar, undesirable items listed. See a lot of basic clothing items. Here's a tent and a camera. Like selling something like this for $6.97, even though you're charging shipping. We got Read up there too, so it might be not working. Tested, turns on, plays, and sounds, but not all the buttons work. In my opinion, throw it away. It's just never going to sell, I don't think. Unless this is something that's worth like $100 working, right? Someone's willing to fix. I don't think it's ever going to sell. Sony Sports Walkman, those are pretty good. I think $57.97 might be a bit high. Hat, Rainforest Cafe. Prices on the hats are pretty good, it looks like. When you add the shipping though, it can really hurt the value because you're going to be getting a discount on this shipping. Like it's going to charge the buyer like $6.83 and it's going to cost you usually about $4 and something, right? To ship a hat. It's 8 ounces if you put it in a box. Usually maybe 9 ounces depending on the hat. For me, a hat like this, I'd probably price like $17.99 and just do free shipping. Usually how I sell, my hats in this range. Not saying it won't sell like that, but I think it takes a lot longer to sell. I think a lot of people who would be interested in it are passing up on it. RoboCut vacuum hair cutting. This is like a Flowbee. I didn't even know those existed. I actually use a Flowbee to cut my hair. I think it does a pretty good job. I haven't been to the barber now since COVID, so I've saved a lot of money. Bin 10 toys, I've mentioned those, can sell pretty good. I just gotta have them priced right. Like this Goosebumps game, this is just the problem. Like I buy stuff like this all the time at rummage sales for like a quarter, and it's like, oh, and it's not really selling that great. I'll put it on eBay for $10 plus shipping. Nothing wrong with that. As long as it's got all the pieces and you're not competing with people who have all the pieces, I think it's fine. But it's not something I would, look up on eBay and just decide that I want to spend $2 on it to try to flip it. I haven't been checking my recording. I hope this is recording. I'll be upset if it hasn't, because this has been a long video. So highest priced items, we got some 50s fur trench coat for $450. Here's one of the Super Nintendos in the box, $179.99. I mean, that seems like a good price, right? Oh, is this the mini or is this an actual Super Nintendo? Oh, this is the mini. Oh, it says it's brand new. I think that's a fair price if it's brand new. Haven't found or sold one in a while, but I think they were selling for around 100 used last one I sold. And for a while, they were like over $300 new. Got some sewing machines, VHS Xena Warrior Princess. Don't think that's worth that much. I could be wrong. Sealed Ninja Turtles, that's cool. Pictures look fine. I will say it again. Prices and quality of items is what moves eBay sales the most. And here's like a pair of Monopoly U-Build dice. Are they special dice? Probably not worth, listing. They're just a basic pair of dice. Like anyone's just going to replace them with other dice they have. If they had special characters on them or something, yes, it's good to sell the pieces like that. Some of these basic VHS and Blu-rays, again, they can be hard to move. Usually not worth selling at low dollar unless you're getting like bulk for pennies. All these Barbie DVDs, I would just put in one lot. I actually think they would probably sell pretty quickly for like $20 or $25. Got some more board game pieces. If you're going to sell board game pieces, try to get as much money as possible for them or just throw them away, because it has to be a good game. Like if it's a rare game selling for 70 or $100, I'll part it out if it's missing pieces. But some of these basic games can just be hard to move some of the stuff. But definitely on the right track here with the photos and everything like that. Descriptions look good. Buyer pays for return shipping, but you offer returns, 30-day returns. That's what I do. I mentioned in the last video, I think returns definitely affect if people are going to be buying your items. I know this for a fact because I don't buy from people who don't offer returns. But thank you so much for sharing the store. I do appreciate it. Store I'm looking at is Airways istockgrizz. 970 items sold, 471 items currently listed. And what's fun about eBay, you can name your store kind of weird, crazy things. Doing that on Amazon, I never recommended it just because Amazon's such a different environment and professional looking, and some of the names I would see on there is just like, ooh, No one's going to buy from you if they see that name. eBay's completely different vibe, right? So it looks like we got some sports cards, some cool looking amber owl bookends, vintage Minolta digital camera. Digital cameras don't sell as well. Here's a orange skateboard, acrylic, interesting. Some graded WWE cards, various other sports cards. Again, not something that I really mess with. Photos are looking fine from what I can tell. I don't see anything that makes me, want to jump off the page or anything like that. Highest cost item, looks like some sports cards, $849.99. Could be worth it. I don't know. I just know the sports card and Magic card, Pokemon card, grading and stuff like that got a little bit oversaturated. A lot of people are dumping their stuff and not buying. This is like a signed Brett Favre football hat from 97. Could be worth that. It looks like the top thing being sold in this store is sports cards. Here's a Geo Dragonstone. I know some of this stuff actually does pretty well. There's a market for it. Not something I've ever messed with though. Lowest dollar items. Sports cards for $4.99. Are you offering free shipping on these? $1.25 shipping. Same story with the other people selling the cards. I feel like I just want to sell them all together, right? Rather than list each individual one for low profits and have them sitting forever. Offering 30-day returns. Buyer pays for return shipping. That looks good. Descriptions look good. Really no complaints. Photos are fine. A little dark, but they're clear. I can read everything. I can see the corners of this card fine. If you're looking to get more sales, again, I would just double check your prices and maybe try to get rid of some of the lower dollar items. But of course, thanks so much for sharing. Looking good. There it is, everybody. That was not 10, but 11 stores I just went over. This is going to be a long video for sure. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Again, let me know some feedback. I've never done a video like this. If you enjoyed this type of thing, going through, reviewing the stores. And again, thanks so much for everyone who sent me their store. I got a big list. If I do this again, I'm just going to pick from that. And if you do want to still send me your link, maybe I'll just pick at random next time. I'm not sure. But you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Until next time.